Good morning. It's the next day and Alex and I have had, whoa. We're just gonna cry our eyes out and do all the cupboards now.
We had to fill a watering can from the outside pipe to then pour into the back.
To use the toilet. We've had, you could say, a small disaster. I'm wearing the same clothes, but I actually have worn other clothes in between.
That's a lie. She's lying. Good
morning, everyone. It is Monday afternoon and I am gonna show you this week all the progress that's made in our kitchen because I have a feeling this week it's gonna all come together. I'll show you what's happened today, but yeah, we've got a bit of a window seat happening, which I'm so excited for. And yeah, hopefully the next thing will be these cupboards will start, well, I can start painting them and they'll start to have doors and everything will be finished and we can put the fridges in. And it will all start to come together, which is just, yeah, makes me so excited. And then we can put the new door handles and everything that we've got. And then start planning everything else. We still haven't found a tiler, which is making me a bit nervous. And it might end up being a bit of a DIY if we can't find anybody. Or, I don't know, we'll see. But let me show you what's happened today. If you haven't, hello Zeusy. Hello Zeusy. If you haven't been watching the vlogs, then you probably haven't seen some of this. Let me just quickly show you everything else that's happened. But we've got the cupboards in and I'm very sorry about the lighting. As soon as I point the camera towards the window, it goes very backlit. But Zeus is going to model the new additions. But yeah, the main thing is that we have this new window seat. We've gone for this sort of great effect on the front, which I'm going to paint. I'll paint it all white so everything will be matching. And then once there's a lid on the top, you won't really see as much because it will be completely dark. Hello, you. He was just rubbing his head against my hand. So that's great. And yeah, there's going to be a lid, like I said, and then we're going to DIY a cushion. My mum's going to help me with that. Let everyone's come to join the action. Yeah, my mum will help me with that. So I'll show you how I do that. I think I just need to get some kind of like, I don't know, foam and then create the cushion cover. And then we'll get some beautiful cushions and I've got to decide on some fabrics. And then when the windows go in, I can get a matching blind. And I think that Anthony today has also boxed in the edge here. And then that will be sort of filled out down the edge, so that'll be all nice and neat. And then we'll have some doors, and in here we're going to have 4 drawers. So that'll be really useful for our pantry rather than a cupboard. It'll be much easier, I think, to store food in there. And then at the top and in the middle, I think he's going to put some shelves. I think I mentioned this, that we can move around. I'm feeling quite motivated. We'll see how I feel in half an hour. I'm going to walk Roxy and I have an urge to paint the inside of the cupboards. I did ask him today, he was like, once I've like put that in, then go ahead and like just paint the insides. And one of you guys who is genius pointed out to me from the last video, I had said that I was just gonna paint like, you know, this much in here because that's all that would be visible when the fridge or freezer is in. But one of you said that you had a leak in your MDF fridge cupboard and it destroyed the cupboard, so you were like, make sure that you paint it so that gives you some kind of, you know, leak proofing, because obviously this is MDF primer which will have some kind of plasticky stuff in it, so if it does leak it's less likely to soak into the MDF and ruin it. It's more likely that you could probably wipe it or soak it up. So yeah, thank you so much for telling me that. I'm going to paint the whole inside just for peace of mind. Not that it's like a common thing that a fridge or freezer leaks, and hopefully that won't ever happen, but you know, I would feel so annoyed if it did and I hadn't done that, even if it was like a teeny tiny little leak or if you dropped something. Yeah, I'll just feel so much better. And I'll do the top. We're going to get like a nice wine storage here. I know lots of you sort of said, some of you said don't put wine storage above the fridge or freezer, it will make your wine go off or whatever from the heat. I think it's fine. Most wine that we buy, we literally consume within the week. We don't really store a lot of alcohol for like best or anything. And if there is any special bottles, we'll just put them in a different cupboard because I'll keep that in mind. So yeah, thanks for letting me know, because it's something I probably wouldn't have thought about. So I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, we'll just make sure to put only wine in there that's like not fizzy so it can't like burst. And also this fridge, this is a freezer, not a fridge. There is no heat coming from this. I can feel absolutely no heat. It's cold. So I think it'll be fine. And it's right next to an Aga. That's probably something that's going to cause more heat issues. And also a sample arrived today. I'm going to come into the light and I'll show you. Well, I'll show you actually where it's going to go and what it will look like. So this is our tile sample. It's going to be kind of tricky to show you on camera because it doesn't necessarily pick up on much detail, but this is a ceramic tile from a company called Marlborough Tiles, and it's really beautiful, and it's going to go at the back here. Now, it's obviously not that dissimilar from what's already there. It's just I don't love the finish of this. It's kind of like a shinier finish, and also the square and then the rectangle. And this does have a little bit more brightness. Also, I don't love the grout, so this, I think we're going to go for white or cream grouting to match. And yeah, they'll all be square, and hopefully that will really finish off the Aga beautifully and match. And if you compare it to the quartz, it's a pretty wonderful match. This is the worktop colour. It's like an off-white. It's not a cold white. It's not really a warm white either. It's just an off-white. And I really think that these work beautifully, especially with our Aga, which is another job for another day because this needs to be re-enamelled. It's pretty groggy, but that's expensive to re-enamel an Aga, and everybody is booked, so maybe we'll do that next year. Yeah, really happy with that combination. I want everything in this kitchen to last. I don't want to do anything that like 10 years down the line we're like, wow, that really dated. So these are simple for that reason. I did think about doing pattern tiles, and then I was just like, is that going to be something that I change my mind about and then have to retile? Let's go with this. And then with this window seat, we've got a lovely opportunity to add some print and colour and the blinds as well. So that's the plan. And I'm going to get painting, get out my clothes and start painting the inside of the cupboards, because I think that that is really going to make a difference in the feel in here and start brighten things up. What are you cooking here then?
I'm cooking dal.
It's a nice little routine this, isn't it? You cooking me Indian whilst I paint?
Yeah. I've got chickpeas and spinach in it as well.
I'll leave a link to the recipe below. It might be in my ebook though, so if it is, I'll leave it in my ebook. But we have painted one of the cupboards, and as you can see, it's kind of hard to show you. That's probably a representation. It's just one coat of MDF primer, but it's just made it so much brighter than like obviously this cupboard. So if I come backwards, you can see, I mean, it's really not going to show you because of the back lighting of the window, but you can see the difference and how it's like sunk into the wall a lot more when the doors are on. Yeah, glad I got that done. I'm going to try and do that one after dinner. And progress. I am so happy with this window seat. Like the fact that we basically got built-in sofa. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so comfy and so lovely. I can imagine myself sitting there with a coffee and just looking out at the garden. Yay! Good morning. It's the next day, and Alex and I have had... Whoa! Good morning, it's the next day, and Alex and I have spent all morning talking about house stuff. It is a serious job. We've literally spent, I think, the last hour or 2 hours?
Hour, I'd say.
Hour? No, it's definitely been longer than an hour. We've spent a long time going through everything for the house because managing like renovations is a full-time job. It's so complicated because there's so many little things that we need doing, like we're talking about our garage roof, our tiling, the fireplace, the electricians, the plumber, the worktops. There's just so many things, and like everyone's very busy, so it's like organising it, and yeah. I think it is a couple days since I last talked to you. And a lot has happened, not all good. We've had, you could say, a small disaster when it comes to the electrics. We had the electricians round because they were finishing off some jobs that they did the other day. I showed you they installed lots of new sockets at the house. And though that wasn't necessarily a necessity right now, we wanted to do it for peace of mind so that everything was like safe. We had an electrical test done and they said we need to come back and do the work that needs doing from this electrical test. Some of it's like needed now, some of it you can do as and when you decorate, because it's not like a safety issue, it's more just kind of like probably is a good idea to do it somewhere down the line. So they came back and they were continuing to fit all of the sockets in all the rooms, and they came across a fault in the hallway, partly because Alex was using the light switch, the new light switch that were installed, and because they're metal, I think they were plastic before, he could feel a bit of vibration on them, and then they were like, okay, we'll look into this, and then one of the electricians ended up getting a bit of a shock from them. So they had to check all of them, undo everything and try and figure it out. And turns out, I think that the recessed lights in the hallway hadn't been wired correctly. So they've had to rewire the whole hallway and put a new fuse box in. So this is definitely a case of total unexpected costs and surprises happening. But it's just the way house renovations go, especially old house renovations, because you never know what you're going to uncover. You never know what's gone on in the past, how things have been done, or what issues have arisen just because a lot of time has passed. And it's always worthwhile. Like if I was to give one tip to anybody who's bought an old house or is renovating an old house, really do all the safety stuff first. As annoying and boring and expensive and like, not gratifying it is, it's so worth it, because you don't want to uncover something down the line or end up in a situation where problems arise or you have like a dangerous situation. Like if we hadn't dealt with those electrics, we could have got an electrical shock from the new light switches or whatever, or something bad could have happened because they both basically weren't earthed, so there was no earth for the vault to go to. And these are the non-glamorous jobs that don't do anything in terms of looks on the house, but they are so important. Like the first thing we knew we had to do when we moved in was I was like, we need to get our boiler maintained, get a service on the boiler, and also get an electrical test done. Like my mum was like, get an electrical test and get everything fixed now. And things like we're going to be doing the garage roof because that's leaking, and getting our fence put in for Roxy for her safety, and things like even the windows, getting the windows done. That is going to save us money and energy. It's obviously it's going to be very lovely to have beautiful new windows, but it's also like a practical thing for the house. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's happened. So we've had the electricians here for the last 2 days. They've been here for 2 days. Alex just came downstairs.
All weeks.
And they were only going to be here for like a day, and then they obviously realised that, so they came back today, and they're all coming back tomorrow. So I think they're going to have a whole house filled with electricians, just so they can, because they're just like, we want to get it all sorted for you so that it can be dealt with, because otherwise we're going to have no electricity for a few days. You may have noticed that I missed a video on Wednesday because of the electrics being off, and the electrics are back on now, but it just was too late to upload a video. And it's been a very busy week otherwise. Work-wise, it's been busy. The end of last week, I've left my management company, so we're now doing everything in-house at home, just us. So there's obviously an extra workload there. And then I've been painting until like 10, I think last night, did I finish at like 10:30?
Yes.
Yeah, and then the night before I think I finished at around 10. Because Anthony, our carpenter, he took a few days because he's moving house. He was like, if you paint, this works well for me to do stuff at the house. And we were like, that's actually perfect, so we can get painting ahead of the doors going on. So I did like a couple, I think, yeah, last night I did another coat. So I've done like 2 coats of MDF primer. And now this evening, even though it's 8 o'clock, he's coming tomorrow, and basically, I have enough motivation in me because I want this to be done. And if I don't paint, it's going to delay Anthony, which is going to delay it being done. And we've got so much else going on. Next week, we have the worktop being measured up, the fireplace is being repointed, and then a new wood burner fitted from Monday. And also potentially we're going to have the tiling done at some point soon. And obviously Anthony will be carrying on finishing all the cupboards, so I think he's pretty close to being done now. So yeah, it's a lot going on all at once, and I'm getting a bit like, because it's so interesting with renovations. Like, it starts off quite like doable, like this kitchen was still livable and it was fine, and then it slowly just all starts to unravel because you stop to put things away places and things end up in the hallway and upstairs, and next thing you know your house is like upside down and you're like, how did this happen? So yeah, that's what we're contending with. I'm gonna get on with painting the first coat of the lick paint on the insides of the MDF, and then we're gonna have to just do the pine at the weekend because I think the inside is the most important, so that he can like fit the doors and everything. Do you reckon?
Yes.
Yeah, because the outside's kind of like different, isn't it?
The outside you can do at a later date.
Yeah. Well, I would ideally like to do it before he fits the doors, but at least like the inside is like a job done. Yeah. Because we need to get some wood primer and we don't have wood primer.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a long description of what's going on, but I thought I'd update you. Breathe. Breathe.
I filled the holes in there, and then I realised the freezer's going to be there.
When did you do that?
Just now.
Did you do the fridge?
You're
so funny.
I did the bits you might be able to see, and then I realised, why was I doing it?
What do you like? What do you like? Okay, we're just gonna cry our eyes out and do all the cupboards now.
I'm gonna have a lie down. You can paint if you want.
Well, to be honest, I've painted these cupboards, not him. No, he has been like doing all the cooking and the cleaning. It's like, this is why I think gender roles are just rubbish, because in our relationship, according to gender roles, I'm the man and you're the woman, which is just utter crap, because if one person has the motivation to paint and do the DIY and one person has motivation to cook and clean,
yeah,
who cares if you're a man or a woman?
Yeah. Also, once you start like painting, you're in the groove.
Yeah.
And you know what, you also only have
I'm like quick at it.
We have one mini roller. You're also quicker than
Alex is quite slow at that kind of thing because you're more of a perfectionist,
yeah,
even than me. But yeah, I always think that about our relationship. I hate gender roles because they're just rubbish.
Last night I was doing the recycling in the dark with a torch because we had no lights in any other rooms. And then I had to shower.
Yeah, that's last night. We had no lights anywhere because they wanted to make sure everything was safe before they put the new fuse box in today. So we only had lights in here because everything in the kitchen was safe.
So I had to shower with my phone torch.
I showered with that light that this morning on the floor.
Point
yeah. All part of it, isn't it? And I've also broken out. I've got 2 massive spots, one on my lip, one on my chin.
Is the microphone plugged in this time?
I hope so. The mic wasn't switched on. Sorry if the sound was
right.
Bad.
You were wrong.
Whoops. Let me show you though what we're looking like. I don't know if I've shown you this new window seat, so if I haven't, here it is. But I have painted the inside. The lighting is so yellow. Let me just actually turn the light off. So that's no, that's just dark. You'll see it in this video when it's a bit more bright and proper, but I've done 2 coats of MDF primer except for that bit. I guess I forgot about that bit. We have our window seat with our lovely sort of great rattan at the front, and there'll be a lid on top. And then this is the corner cupboard, as you can see, and then this is the state of our house. A fridge in the doorway, electrician stuff in the hallway, mess absolutely everywhere, lights hanging down from the ceiling, all these switches hanging off. They'll be back tomorrow, that's why they've left all their stuff, but my goodness, it's not fun having a house like this. I'm going to attempt another coat that I'm definitely losing steam right now. I'm like a bit like, why am I doing this? But I just would rather get it done, to be honest, than have to delay. Hello, it is Friday evening and I think I last talked to you on Wednesday. I'm wearing the same clothes, but I actually have worn other clothes in between.
That's a lie. She's lying.
I just got this new like sweat set from Pangea. They gifted it to me and I can't take it off. It's so nice. Like, I love this colour and it's really lightweight. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. Let me put you here. The situation with the electrics has just slowly escalated and escalated and escalated every single day. I think the electricians showed up last Friday to do just the sockets, that kind of thing. I think that's the right time frame. Yeah. And then they were like, right, we'll come back on Monday to finish the ones upstairs we didn't manage to get to. And then I think that, when was it they discovered a fault? Was it Tuesday or Monday?
Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, Tuesday afternoon.
Right as they're about to leave and never come back.
Yeah, so they were literally about to leave and Alex was like, I just touched this light switch and it kind of like gave me a little bit of an electric shock. I may have just told you this whole story though already, so I'm not going to go on about this too much. And ever since then they've been working hard. The house has turned into a dusty mess. There is holes in every single wall in every single room. We had no expectation of this happening. So another thing that I've just realised as well is because we didn't expect this to happen, we haven't like dust proofed the house. We haven't put sheets down. So there is just mess everywhere. They've torn the floorboards up. And I'll show you in a second. Like, I think the last clip I showed you was how it looked maybe on Wednesday. It's gotten worse. And yeah, it's just been like an unraveling of a can of worms. I want to preface this by saying that none of this, by the way, is me complaining, because I like sharing this because I kind of get a little bit like cynical about how many renovation videos or how many pictures I see online of like the cool before and afters, and it's all very glamorous and like, look at the nice beautifully decorated home. This stuff maybe is glossed over a little bit more, and I think with old houses there's so many unexpected costs, and sometimes I feel like there's this idea of like it's the goal and it's the dream to own a house, which it is, and I am so lucky. So I just feel like I don't want to ever come across like I'm complaining, because I'm not, because we own a house, we bought an old house, comes with responsibility, comes with hiccups, comes with problems. That's literally just part and parcel of it. Yeah. So I am just like, do you know what, it's like I can't complain about something that it's like self-inflicted. Like, I bought this house, yeah, and I decided to take the responsibilities of maintaining a house that I purchased that's old. That's my responsibility at the end of the day, even though there are things that like surprise you and shock you and you're like, yeah, whoa, I didn't expect it. I'm not renting a home. I'm not someone who hasn't got the budget. Like years ago, we wouldn't have had the budget to buy a house. So I literally can't, I can't complain. You can't. Yeah. It's part of renovating.
Yeah. But I want to share. This was more. It was more of an issue than we ever anticipated.
Yes,
that's all.
But I like sharing the unanticipated surprises with you,
of course,
whilst also emphasising that it's not a complaint. It's just a like, this is the reality. So if you're watching loads of people's videos of them renovating houses and being like jealous or upset that you aren't in that situation, just remember the dark side of it that a lot of them probably don't bring up. That it is your house turned upside down, dust everywhere. Budgets, you know, doubling, tripling in costs, and having people in your house every day. Like, there's so many things that, like, as a renter, are amazing. Like, you have a set amount you pay every month for your rent, and you know, if there's an issue, the landlord pays for it, and there's so much when it comes to home ownership. And we're going to talk about this in another video. I'm going to do a whole video about like home renovation costs and that kind of thing, because it's something I'm passionate about. But let me show you.
I think what makes it
the
more annoying is that it's doing something that's like hidden away in the walls.
Yeah.
You're not getting
God, I know.
a nice new bathroom or like kitchen cabinets or something. You're just getting something that you already thought was nice and tidy and safe.
Yeah. But with electrical stuff, I'm so glad we sorted it, because that's like a fire hazard and that scares me. So I'm like really happy that they've fixed everything. So I will sleep safe at night thinking, wow, my house, and like the fireplaces too, like the fireplaces will be done, the electrics will be done.
But I already slept safe and soundly at night.
No, but I always, until the electrics were done, I was always a bit like, I was a bit nervous about the fact they hadn't been done. Because I'm pretty sure electrical faults are like one of the top reasons why houses set on fire.
Yeah, but you don't move into a new house thinking, well, I wonder if the electrics will set on fire tonight.
I have anxiety, I do. Okay. That's literally a worry of mine. Can any of you relate? That's literally a worry. And I feel safe now that it's all fixed. And also, bonus, it happened before we decorated. Imagine if we discovered this and it had happened after we'd done loads of decorating or something. But let me show you an update. So this is the living room. All of the light sockets are off the walls. everything's, you know, turned upside down a little bit. So they're going to have to rewire in here completely. Originally they said they didn't think they would have to rewire in here, and then they realised they actually do. But in doing that, there's actually a bonus that we can then choose where we want things. So we're going to add a light in the ceiling, and I'm considering getting picture lights, so like raising them to have picture lights so I can have paintings below them. Just an idea. I might not do that, and we're going to have to think about it. The hallway is covered in dust. It was much worse earlier because I think they've swept as much as they could now. But yeah, loads of holes in the ceiling, and it's the same upstairs as just like, I think the floorboards, like look at all the dust. Oh my gosh. One thing that's cheering me up and offsetting the stress of the electrics is how amazing these cupboards look. Every day he's here, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it gets better and better, especially because I painted them. And they've got that like initial coat. Obviously we need to paint the pine, but I want to buy wood primer first to make sure it's, you know, done properly. But he's added the mouldings on the top, which look so good. Makes me so happy, you don't even know. And then our amazing window seat has its top on it now. And then there's just this one at the back that comes up. At the minute, it doesn't come up because I think he just added this trim. But I'm sure he'll cut that bit so we can access it. And then we're gonna have a nice big cushion so we can sit there, have a coffee and enjoy our view. But yeah, all of the cupboards have the mouldings on the top. Oh, also I didn't tell you, today also when they were doing the electrics, they hit a pipe, so they had to get an emergency plumber because they had to turn the water off. So we've got loads of washing up to do next door.
We had to fill a watering can from the outside pipe to then pour into the back
to use the toilet.
To flush it.
To flush the loo.
That's my favourite part.
It's all kind of fun though, you know, look, in like a year or two, we'll look back and be like, oh, do you remember we were doing the kitchen and it was our first renovation and it was really fun and stressful but fun?
Yeah. Do you remember the time Maddie clogged the toilet when the water was off?
What? I didn't clog the toilet.
With a huge BM.
Oh, stop it. What's this? Oh, dog food.
Animal food, yeah.
Exciting. Happy Saturday. I have been painting today, doing this cupboard. You can see I've now done the shelves and I've done my 4th layer of paint. I think that it's gonna need another paint layer, if I'm being honest. Now my next task is to like do some MDF primer with a sponge on this sort of like rattan grate sort of thing. I've got to put some knot sealer on the pine. That's really important. If you're ever painting pine or anything with knots, use knot sealant first, otherwise it will come through. So yeah, white knotting. It will come through after you've painted it, which will be obviously very frustrating if you've spent a lot of time neatly painting some wood. So yeah, I'll go around putting, we've done 1 layer of the knot sealant, and I need to do a second layer and a first layer actually, because I haven't done anything on the window seat. And good news, the electrics are now finished. Our electrician Matt came today to finish off. It's Saturday, so he very kindly came back today just to finish everything off because, like I said, it just ended up being such a bigger job. But now everything is done, and it's just like a couple little jobs they have to come back for, like these little holes for the plug sockets. I just rashly was like, oh, just make a hole so we can access them, but it's actually not very accessible. So we're going to fill those holes and actually put the plug sockets on the cupboard. And then they have to come back to fit our hob once the worktops are in. But yeah, today is going to be a long day of painting. I want to get at least 1 or 2 layers of paint on all the wood. And these ones will be in the green that I'll be using for the kitchen. So that'll be kind of exciting because I'll see the green colour that we're using for the first time properly on a cupboard. Oh, I forgot about this. I've also got to do a layer of, well, actually I probably won't do that because he's not finished it yet. No, I won't do that. He's got to finish that part, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Good evening. I haven't vlogged much since I last spoke to you because I feel like all my video at the minute there's just painting. It's just painting. And that's just the reality of it at the minute. I got to the point where I had to stop and I was just feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of painting that I know is to come, because it's got to be like more layers of paint, and then the painting on the walls, and then the floors need to be sanded. And I'm sure if you have been DIYing or renovating your own home, there's a point in the project where you, I don't know, you feel like you're getting somewhere, and then you're like, hold on, there's so much to do still. That's the moment I had earlier. I've done my first coat of wood primer. You can see it on that side. I haven't done the mouldings or the window seat because we had to put some wood filler, so I'll do those tomorrow. But feeling really happy with that progress. And it's just going to be weeks, I think, of just painting every day and just fitting it all in. And we've just got to paint everything that's necessary until everyone's finished, so all the tradesmen have gone, and then we can like properly paint the ceilings and the walls and finish everything off. So when like the worktops are in, the fireplace is done, the cupboards are done, then we can like really focus on finishing everything, doing the floor, that kind of thing, which will basically mean the kitchen's done, and then we can just put everything in its place and decorate. Though I actually do have a bit of a DIY project I want to do on our dresser. I want to paint it like a dark green, but I want to wait till the room is, I'd always decided I'd wait till the room was done to decide on the colour. We're just having dinner. We're having these Linda McCartney vegetarian chicken buckets. If you haven't had these, they're so good. And we always like on a Saturday to have like some kind of fun vegan meal that we enjoy, like a M&S pizza or a Linda McCartney chicken bucket. So we're having that with some homemade chips and a glass of wine. And yeah, I think I'll say goodbye to you and tune in for next week for when the fireplace gets done, which is going to be a really fun transformation because we did that in our old house and it was amazing. So we'll hopefully have a new wood burner at the end of next week and new lime rendering. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you are enjoying the renovation videos, leave a comment, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.